So, from what we have read in Matthew 24, we have the question again: can Christians endure the tribulation? And it's a great question. And this actually, the actual verse that we are using for this lesson or title is verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And the question is that, what is the Lord Jesus Christ talking about? Why is he saying that he who endures to the end? Because we have all heard, we know that we've been told that we are going to be raptured. Yes, we are going to be raptured, but the question is when. Because when we go through what we have just read, we can find that the tribulation, if the Lord Jesus Christ is saying in this verse that he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, then it begs the question, why will we Christians have to endure? Then we may have to try to find out that if there's a tribulation and the Lord Jesus Christ is telling that it is going to come, it's going to come and it will affect everyone, but he who is able to endure, shall be saved, then it means that, contrary to what we have already heard, that before the tribulation, what is going to happen? We are all going to be raptured away, and then nobody will be left. It will only be the sinners who are left, right? But if that is the case, then why is Christ saying what he is saying? So there must be another translation to what we have already known, that, everybody, so Christians won't be here. But it's not proper. It's not according to what the scriptures are saying. If we have to go with what Christ is saying, then we have to really examine what he's saying. First, at the beginning of the chapter, he talks about that we are going to come across people who are going to say that, this is Christ, for many Christ will come. We know that, but that is not the point. Our point is, will Christians, or can Christians endure the tribulation? That is a great question for Christians to examine, because if we just say that, this thing, the pestilence and all these things that will happen, it's not going to happen to us. We are not going to endure. We are not going to be part of it. We'll be gone by then. Then let's look at what the scriptures is telling us. No, of course, in verse 6 and 7, you said you hear of rumors and wars and all of this, and that's not what we are talking about. And all of those things, we know we have heard about them and known about them, and it's still going on. But verse 8 says, all these things are the beginning of sorrow. So, which is to let us know that there's going to be a painful time, a sorrowful time. And then he is also talking here, verse 9. Verse 9 is telling us something that shows that we have to be part of something. Let's during the time of the Israelites in Egypt, didn't they face persecution? They faced persecution. But by God's grace, God took them out. The Israelites, when they were taken into captivity, didn't they go through those things? They went through those things. And what happened to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah? They were in a foreign land. They were being persecuted. They were being forced to do things. But because, what did they do? They did not submit. They did not accept the religion of the Babylonians, the idol worship of the Babylonians. They did not accept to worship King Nebuchadnezzar. They remained faithful, which means they did what? They endured those persecutions. They endured those times. And we know Daniel also endured it. They were trying to test his faithfulness to God. So Christians, that is what Christ is saying, that if you are a Christian, how faithful can you be until the end? When these tribulations are going on, Will you be able to endure? Are you going to give up? Can Christians endure the tribulation? That is the question. So verse 9 says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. This is a reminder that persecutions, of course, in some nations, they are facing persecutions right now. We still have the freedom, but this is going to be nationwide, worldwide. It's not just one nation. This is what God is revealing to us, to see that things that will be happening, we are going to be persecuted, we are going to be tortured. Of course, in those days when the Lord Jesus Christ made the prophecy, we know the apostles, they went through all the same persecutions. They survived. Survived, which means they went through, they were able to overcome, and some of them were killed, and basically all of them except one were all killed. They were crucified, they were sold. So many terrible things were done to them, all because of the gospel, all because of Christ, all because they were holding on to his name. The Apostle Paul, we know, they beheaded him. And can Christians stand that when you are confronted? We are going to kill you. We are going to persecute you. We are going to do this. You have to deny Christ. What will Christians do? And then verse 10 says, and then shall many be offended and shall betray one another. What does offended mean? This is the King James translation. But what is being said is that many who said they were Christians will give up. They will be ashamed of Christ. They will not be able to hold on to their Christianity. They will not be able to say that, oh yes, I'm a Christian, I'm willing to die. No. They are going to say, oh no, I'm not a Christian. No, I'm a different thing. That's what is being asked of us now. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another. Those who are supposed to stand still, Christians, will say, oh, yeah, that person too is a Christian. Get him. That person is too. That's what Christ is saying. 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. This already we know, and many people are still doing it. And so many people with false pastors and leaders are deceiving many, and people are falling for it. Verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Which is to say that many people who say that they are Christians, they are this thing, but when they see sin, when they see all these things that are happening around them, all this sin, everybody is doing it, so why wouldn't they also get involved? And they will all be involved, and then the love that they have, the Christianity, the power they have. And we also remember that Christ already mentioned that the first shall be the last. Those who say they are Christians, eventually they will lose their power, their zeal, and then their love shall become cold, which means that they will not stand faithful to God as they used to. Verse 13, the verse that we are really after. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. We see that Christ is talking about enduring. And who can endure? So we have to remember that something is coming. Let's go to Revelation 6 and compare what will happen, and then whether we are going to be able to withstand. Revelation 6, 1 to 17. Ebenezer, read.